Most people don't realize that beneficiary forms, not their will, decide who gets frequently what are the biggest accounts they own. Your will covers what's in your name alone: furniture, car, bank account with no named beneficiary. Things like retirement accounts, life insurance, 401k plans, uh, pass directly to whoever's listed on the form, no matter what your will says. Think of it this way: between you and that financial institution, the will never enters the room. These accounts often make up a significant portion of a family's wealth, which means getting this right is one of the most important things you can do. So one of the biggest mistakes is a stale form. It's something you probably signed when you first signed up and hadn't thought about it since. But in scenario A, if you have a divorce without updating, suppose you divorce, remarry, and forget to update your 401k. Your ex-spouse is still listed on the form. I had a client come to me once and said their ex died and they were still beneficiary on the company plan. I let them know that while I was not an attorney, I was pretty sure they could take the money and run. Fortunately for the ex's family, they refused. The ex's family could have paid a big price on that. No backup beneficiary. You name only one beneficiary, they pass away before you. You forget to make any changes. With no contingents listed, the account has nowhere to go except the estate, which in a little bit we'll discuss why that's a bad idea. Suppose you're leaving your funds to your grandchildren, and your form names two of your grandchildren, and there's a third one now. The youngest is going to get left out if you don't change that form. So never name your estate as the beneficiary. It's one of the most costly mistakes a person can make. It forces the account through probate and can create a large accelerated tax bill. If the estate's the beneficiary, the money loses its ability to stretch, which it often must be distributed quickly and is fully taxable. Important options your family would otherwise have for IRAs and company plans, they're gone, they're eliminated. Probate is public and court supervised. It costs time, costs money, and the results can be unpredictable. A blank form or the word estate is almost never a safe option. So if you name your individual beneficiary, the account transfers directly and privately, no court involvement required. Distribution typically occurs within weeks, not months or years. Family routines, important tax options like potentially stretching it out or phased distribution strategies. Your wishes are carried out exactly as intended without lawyers, judges, or delays. So the Secure Act changed things back in about 7 years ago. The rules for who inherits your IRA and how quickly they must take it changed significantly, and most families have no idea. If somebody owned an IRA or 401k and they died before 2020, then the beneficiaries most of them could stretch IRA withdrawals out over a lifetime, spreading out the tax bill. With the Secure Act of 2020, the stretch IRA was eliminated for most non-spouse beneficiaries. Now the account must be emptied within 10 years of death. If you've already begun this year or last year, if you've already begun required minimum distributions, your beneficiary may also have to do annual withdrawals throughout those 10 years. It's tricky here. Consult a professional like me. The bottom line is named beneficiaries that still have far more flexibility than an estate, which is why naming the right person on the right form matters so much. There's some exceptions to the stretch. Surviving spouse, they can stretch it. A minor child, for a while, they can stretch it. Disabled individual, if they qualify, they can stretch it. Why this matters? Because the 10-year rule can compress a lifetime of retirement savings into a short taxable window for your heirs. A correctly named beneficiary in an updated form can preserve far more of what you've built. And the estate versus the named beneficiary. When the estate inherits an IRA, it depends on when the IRA owner died. If it was before their required beginning date, it may have to be emptied in 5 years. If it's after, it may be longer. Okay, this is important. especially if you're on your second marriage and you're wanting your company plan to go to your kids from your first marriage. It's not just a matter of changing the IRA or the company beneficiary form. Your spouse must consent. It's an ERISA plan. So under ERISA, your spouse is automatically your beneficiary on the 401k or 403b, even if you name someone else, unless they've got a written waiver. To name anyone other than your spouse on a company plan, your spouse must sign a written waiver. The Secure Act is a game changer. Failure to plan around these rules can mean a larger tax bill for your heirs. That's Ed Slott, America's leading IRA expert. Company plans also fall in the Secure Act 10-year rule for most non-spouse beneficiaries who inherit after 2019. When you leave a job, you roll your 401k into an IRA, and reviewing a beneficiary form at that moment is one of the most important steps you can take. As I mentioned before, surviving spouses, minor children, and disabled individuals may still qualify for extended distributions beyond the 10-year window. It's not unlimited, there are rules, but come talk to somebody like me. When did you last review your beneficiary forms? You don't need a lawyer or a big estate to get this right. What you start out doing, you make a list of all your accounts, retirement accounts, life insurance accounts. You've got bank accounts with a payable on death designation, annuities. Then after you do it, log in or call each institution. You may be surprised what you find on your current beneficiary form. Most recently with a client, he had no idea he had no beneficiaries, would have gone to his estate had we not got it. Name, primary, and contingent. Oh, by the way, when you get these forms, print them up, stick them in a file where somebody you trust knows where they are. Add a primary and a backup in case the primary dies with you or before you. Never leave it blank unless an attorney has specifically advised you to do it for your situation. Review after every major life event and minimum once a year. Okay. Book a one-to-one review with me and make sure your accounts are all pointed in the right direction. I'll do this review, no cost, no obligation, just clarity. You can walk away with confidence. Your retirement accounts, life insurance, and other assets end up where you wanted after you pass. And it can save your family years of confusion and thousands of dollars. Once you graduate, be it from welding school, engineering school, or law school, you're going to need a different plan for each of these situations that's tailored to your individual situation. During your working years, am I saving enough and is it in the right place? Glide path to retirement. Last 10 years prior to retirement. Will the USS retirement be shipshape on the appointed day? Retirement. How do I avoid running out of money before I run out of life? And legacy. This is the one we've been focusing on today. Does what I worked hard for get to where I want it to after I'm done with retirement? You can reach me at herwirefinancial.com. I do in-person phone and Zoom appointments. I am licensed and registered across several states and can easily add states if there's a need. Want to schedule an appointment? Go up to the upper right-hand corner of my website and click that schedule an appointment button. If you want to see more videos like this, 2 buttons over is the YouTube button. It's the red one. You can follow me on YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Recommend me to your friends. For those who prefer the good old-fashioned telephone, 518-631-2569. Do not text that number. We will be both sad because I won't get your text. There's a separate texting number. Opinions voiced in this material are for general information only, not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance reference is historical. No guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested in directly. All data is believed to be from reliable sources. However, no representation is made as to its completeness or accuracy. None of this is to be construed as tax or legal advice. Consult your advisor prior to taking any action. The information is intended to be educational, not tailored to the investment needs of any specific investor. All investing involves risk, including loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss. There is no guarantee that a Diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. All right, everybody, hope you're having a great summer, and I'll catch you next time.